Hello, it's me, Jessica Bieber, and today I wanted to talk about if K-pop fans are actually more toxic than they were back then. This is kind of one of those videos that I wanted to make because I've always thought about it but never actually spoken about it on my channel, or maybe I did on live stream in passing. But it was something I wanted to talk about regardless, so let's get into it. So this topic isn't specifically about K-pop itself, but more the fandom. Nowadays, when you say the word K-pop to someone who's not necessarily a K-pop fan, a lot of the time their first reaction won't go to the music, but to the fan. And it feels like nowadays a lot of people are reluctant to call themselves a K-pop fan because of like this weird stigmatism and negative connotations around being a K-pop fan. Honestly, I myself am guilty of avoiding bringing up I like K-pop, or just not saying I'm a K-pop stan where I'm meeting strangers or new people, because usually it opens the same boring, repetitive conversation that follows with some subtle racism towards Asians and ignorance towards the genre. I feel like the rise of commentary videos becoming more popular and, you know, Twitter becoming a huge platform, we've seen a rise in content and discourse which discusses the disdain towards K-pop fans and paints them in a negative light. Before I get into a few of my points, before I properly start this video, I don't really entertain any fandom versus fandom drama. I don't like fan wars at all. I know a lot of people in the comments are going to push the blame to, I don't know, certain fandoms, but I don't really endorse that, and I don't really like that mindset. So if that happens in the comments, it's not my fault, and if you guys could just not do that in my comments, that would be... So this kind of has something to do with what I said previously, and in short, the bigger a group of people, the more likely there are going to be nasty individuals in that group, and this isn't something you can necessarily control. If something is more popular and has more fans than something else, it's just a statistic that there is more of a chance that there will be toxic people than a smaller group because there's a bigger amount of people, you know? Quick math. What I have noticed, however, and this isn't really related to K-pop that much due to the public-friendly image a lot of K-pop idols portray, is that there are times where content attracts people because of the toxicity, and this toxicity appeals to the toxic person. Therefore, I do feel like there are certain platforms or certain artists or certain, you know, fandoms, I guess, which appeals to the toxic person because it endorses their kind of toxic mindset. I guess the greatest example you could think of this would be Trump, you know, racist, misogynistic, transphobic, ableist. You know, he will garner a group of people who are also racist, misogynistic, transphobic, and ableist because he is racist, misogynistic, transphobic, and ableist. If you look at BTS and Blackpink, they've never really, you know, endorsed anything negative or promoted any negative or toxic behavior, and they've got a pretty friendly image, public friendly image that everyone can like. Can you really blame groups for having, you know, toxicity within the fandom? No, not really. The thing is, I feel like, yes, there are way more K-pop fans than there are back then, but in terms of like more toxicity, I think it's been on like kind of the same level, honestly, because like I don't really think Stan Twitter is that big of a deal. Saying toxic things on Stan Twitter still sucks, but I don't think it's, you know, the end of the world, you know? Always thought it was a bit of a reach when older K-pop fans act like there was no toxicity at all and everything was better in its early days. And I've talked about this before on previous videos where K-pop fans, older K-pop fans, constantly have this disdain towards newer K-pop fans because they have a superiority complex because they've been in the fandom longer. But there is another point that they always bring up, and I just think it's bullshit. Like I said earlier, due to K-pop blowing up worldwide and the rise of social media, there has been more of a larger platform with a spotlight accompanied with it to put actions on blast. But the truth is, there has never been a time where there was like peace, I guess. I'd like to use this clip of EXO's early debut days as one of my main bits of proof. Like, Jesus Christ. The thing is, this would not happen constantly to just EXO. it would happen to loads of groups where there would be hundreds to thousands of people in an airport shoving and pushing each other, disrupting the public. Just like a little picture of their oppa. And, you know, there are hundreds of clips of idols getting hurt, grabbed, pushed around and more chased in the airport. And this was all happening in like 2012, 13. And this is very early days K-pop. And honestly, when I look at this, when I look at that group, when I look at these instances, Stan Twitter means nothing. And I feel like nowadays people think because there are so many people online expressing toxic opinions on their Twitter account with 100 followers that it's a bigger deal, but it's really not. Like when you look at all of this stuff, it's like our K-pop fans are really getting more toxic. I don't know. We have also got cases where someone tried putting things in BAP's drink. They tried to spike their drinks. People sent letters of their own period blood to TVXQ and Super Junior, and a group of people would, you know, hire a van identical to EXO's so they would get in the wrong van. And this was all happening way back then. You know, there is also the case of Taeyeon getting verbal abuse hurled at her at an airport just for being in a relationship with Baekhyun. And reason people always write these actions off as, oh well, it doesn't matter because they're sasaengs, so they're not real fans. But this never made sense to me, because regardless of the label of sasaeng or what you think a real fan is, they would still label themselves as a blank fan, and you know, they would be doing all of this out of a love for that idol, so they would still call themselves a fan. It's very interesting that all of this stuff kind of just gets swept under the rug when people try and say that K-pop fans are like more toxic now, because I think, you know, ever since 2012, the first instance in my head, there has always been this level of awful, insane fans, and you know, people try and just ignore that purely because they want to have this superiority complex over the new K-pop fans. And people always want to say, I'm not like a new K-pop fan, I'm one of the OGs. It's like, all right, good for you. In short, a lot of older K-pop fans really want to segregate themselves from newer K-pop fans because they don't want to be put in the same box as them. But in reality, there's always been thousands and thousands of toxic K-pop stans, and instead of making it into the new stans or the problem argument, it should really just be toxic people are the problem, because they've always been around. Yes, K-pop has blown up, so there will be more just statistically, but that doesn't mean there weren't thousands already. And you know, K-pop labels still have a long way to go in terms of keeping their idols safe. But the one thing I can say is that a lot of companies have taken a lot of precautionary measures now. So instances like the EXO thing can be kind of controlled better. And the issue with security is being taken a little bit more seriously than it has been. I still do believe that K-pop idols are still getting mistreated in terms of security and safety, but it has been getting slightly better. K-pop blowing up the way it did hasn't been a bad thing, and people need to stop acting like it brought nothing but trouble. You know, it saved groups from disbandment, given groups a bigger budget, and has allowed us to see many new talented groups debuting. It has also, you know, let older groups blow up, like Rolling Girls by Brave Girls. Rolling Girls by Brave Girls. Yeah, Rolling by Brave Girls, that just blew up out of nowhere, and Brave Girls are kind of getting their second wave. And I feel like without the newer K-pop stan generation, that wouldn't have happened. You see a toxic K-pop fan online, like the cringy 16-year-old me, just report them or ignore them. And you always just gotta remember, these are strangers online. They've got like 100 followers, and they're probably sitting in their bedroom, sucking on their thumb, thinking that they popped off. But really, like, who the fuck cares if some 16-year-old says something about your favorite group with 100 followers? It really doesn't matter, because they're irrelevant. It's kind of funny because honestly, when I was 15 and 16, I used to engage in fan wars so much. I had so much anger towards everything. I took it out online in stupid K-pop fan wars, when in reality it was just dumb. I never even disliked any group that I was like arguing with, if that makes sense. Like, I never disliked the group of the fandom that I was arguing with. I just was, I was just an angry little girl, and I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I didn't realize what I was doing. And you know, when like you're kind of younger, maybe 15 or 16, K-pop or whatever you're into kind of like means the world to you. And you know, when you have that one special thing when you're younger, you really want to protect it with all your life, and like your emotions are very heightened when you're young. You're doing high school and a bunch of other stuff. So like when you're like young and into K-pop, it's like everything matters. But in reality, when you get older, you find, why the hell did I argue with someone online over a K-pop group? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that is all from me. My socials are linked down below and my Discord server is as well. I've also opened a Twitch because I wanted to try streaming every Saturday, so it'd mean a lot if you guys followed me on Twitch and just tuned in and said hi. And I would like to thank you guys for all the support. The last thing I want to say is that I've been so confident in my appearance recently because I got like a shit ton of new clothes. I got these cute little accessories, and this is my favorite thing ever, my little rainbow necklace. I love rainbows. It's one of my favorite. I just love rainbows. And I got this really cute top, and you know, I'm just, oh my god, I nearly fell. I'm just being really happy with all of the new clothes I've got. I wore this outfit here that I just want to show off because this is my new favorite outfit ever. So there's my outfit, and I actually got them sent to me all by YesStyle because they've just been really kind and they just sent me these clothes. So if you guys are interested in, you know, some cute clothes, do feel free to go on YesStyle. Remember, it's all in Asian sizes, so remember to convert whatever size you are to an Asian size so you don't get the wrong size. If you guys are interested in any of the things I'm wearing, I'll link them down below as well. My code is JessViba, my name, and I will see you guys later. It really means a lot that you guys are watching me. Thank you so much. Bye.